One, two, test. One, two.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. All right, family, let's go ahead and get started. Make sure I have my eyes here. Well, thank you for joining us today. You want to come in the middle?
Do that here.
My name is Fanta Hai. I'm co-chair of Beacon Hill Black Alliance for Human Rights, which is a Pan-African organization that organizes specifically in the city of Decatur for people of African descent. And I'm happy to be co-moderating today.
Hello, my name is Noah Collier. I'm a senior Africana Studies major, public history minor at Morehouse College. Proud student member of Friends of the Congo here on behalf of my family, as well as my righteous brothers over at Morehouse. And I am also one of your co-facilitators for today. Thank you guys so much for having me, and thank you all so much for being here.
I'm really grateful for Reverend Orlando for giving us the space here at his church. We're really grateful. And if you're here today, you're here because you want to remember the legacy of Patrice Lumumba, and you want to celebrate the work that we can still do in his name today. So we're going to open up with a portion of one of his speeches. And Noah, if you'll go ahead and start.
Thus, both in the internal and external spheres, the new Congo being created by my government will be rich, free, and prosperous. But to attain our goal without delay, I ask all of you, legislators and citizens of the Congo, to give us all the help you can.
Ask you all to sink your tribal quarrels. They weaken us and may cause us to be despised abroad.
I ask you all not to shrink from any sacrifice for the sake of ensuring the success of our grand undertaking.
Finally, I ask you unconditionally to respect the life and property of fellow citizens and foreigners who have settled in our country. If the conduct of these foreigners leaves much to be desired, our justice will promptly expel them from the territory of the Republic. If, on the contrary, their conduct is good, they must be left in peace, for they too are working for our country's prosperity.
The Congo's independence is a decisive step towards the liberation of the whole African continent.
Our government, a government of national and popular unity, will serve its country.
I call on all Congolese citizens, men, women, and children to set themselves resolutely to the task of creating a national economy and ensuring our economic independence. Eternal glory to the fighters for national liberation. Long live independence and African unity. Long live the independent and sovereign Congo. Thank you. The reason we chose that excerpt from his Congolese Independence Day speech is both for the context and the content of that speech. That speech was unplanned and followed a speech from the King of Belgium at the time, who essentially tried to rewrite history within a single speech, basically failing to acknowledge the violent colonial history of Belgium in Congo, and saying that the people of Congo should essentially be grateful for their relationship with Belgium, and basically denying the right of the independence of the Congolese people. And Patrice Lumumba then followed up that horrible and ahistorical speech, igniting the fire within the Congolese people. That speech made him one of the most dangerous men in the world, because the messages and themes from that speech is exactly why we are here today. It called for African unity, intra-diasporic solidarity, and unity across all African people everywhere. And that is what unites us here today.
And family, I think it's a call for us today to continue to be that dangerous, to be a threat to the empire. So be thinking about, as you hear from our panelists, what does that look like for you to become that threat? Brother Kwame, were you wanting to call someone up? Are we going to go into the next reading? Libation. Reverend Orlando? Mama? Please come on up. Thank you for honoring this space with libations. Thank you.
All right, well, greetings, family. First of all, I'm going to ask all who can stand to please stand, and all that can come closer, come closer. You can always return to your seats after the libation. Because the purpose of libation, we say we're inviting the ultimate reality to be present, but that is out of respect, because the ultimate reality is always present. We say that we are inviting our ancestors to be present. We do that out of respect, because there is no separation between us and our ancestors. We are our ancestors returned, and we are the sum total of all of our ancestors. So I'm going to do my best to offer this prayer in honor of our great ancestor, Patrice Lumumba, in honor of all of the freedom fighters of the Congo, past, present, and future. I'm going to offer this libation for our collective unity in the fight against injustice, in the fight against imperialism, in the fight against evil against good. So we pour water because water knows no enemy. And we say, Omi Tutu, in the Yoruba language, Omi Tutu, cool water. Ona Tutu, cool road. Tutu La Roye, cool destiny. E baba na mama zetu wa zamani, tuka heshima na tuka omba ulinde nija zetu. Utupe hekima na baraka zako, na utufikishe salama kapita safari yetu ya maisha ndivyo. O our fathers and mothers of old, we respect you. We ask you to protect our paths, grant us your wisdom and blessings, and guide us safely on our life's journey. We call on some of the names of the great ancestors from the Congo, whose shoulders we all stand upon, all of us who believe in justice and freedom, because we are one people. And as we call on these ancestors, please answer by saying kwa heshima, which means with respect in the Swahili language. Kempa Vita, kwa heshima. Patrice Lumumba, kwa heshima. Joseph Okito, kwa heshima. Pierre Mulele, kwa heshima. Floribert Chebeya Bahizire, Andrea Boleyn, George Washington Williams, William Shepard, kwa heshima. Simon Kimbangu, Edmund Morel, and a young ancestor who we are told, a young youth, because we know the power of the youth of the Congo. They are many of the revolutionaries that are on the ground. And this young spirit, this young brother who is doing the revolutionary work, his name was Kombo Malanga. And in the spirit of Lumumba, in his own words, taken from one of his speeches in 1960, August the 25th, united by a single spirit, a single aspiration, and a single heart. Long live African unity and solidarity. Forward, Africans, to complete the liberation. So in unison, let's say, forward, Africans, to complete the liberation. Forward, Africans, to complete the liberation. Ashe.
Brother Kwame. All right, family, I'm gonna ask Brother Kwame to come up to introduce this reading that we're gonna share in as a community. So I'm going to pass around a couple copies. Apologize for the small print. And as a family, we're just gonna take it piece by piece. We just ask you to read a section, and Kwame's gonna speak to the significance of this piece.
Greetings and love, family. So, yeah, I heard your voice there. So today is such a special day. Before I begin, however, and I certainly want to give thanks to Mama Eniola for taking us to that very special place. You know, before I begin this reading, I just want to say we should give a whole tremendous lot of love and respect to Pastor Orlando Scott for hosting us today. He's busy with the technical details, and so sometime during the course of the afternoon, I guess he'll join us to welcome us in. But hey, this is really a special space. I think, you know, as we stand here on stolen land, on hallowed ground, but taken from the indigenous people in that genocide, we think about the ongoing suffering in the Congo, in Sudan, and elsewhere. In Palestine. We understand that this space is something that would have to be defended. Defended not only by those of us present, but as Mama Nyola did, invoking the legions of those ancestors. And when we think about Patrice Lumumba, and yesterday felt like a very sad day, and I understand that some other folks have died, Bungie Carter, and other family have transitioned at that time. But the reason why Friends of the Congo feels it's important to lift up Lumumba, not in a kind of indulgence in the morbidity of him being killed on the 17th, but we're saying that once we remember their names, let it be that for those ancestors that we cherish, that their names never be forgotten by family and friends, right? And Mama Bibian will speak later about, imagine what would happen if the young people were walking in the spirit of Lumumba. Imagine, do we think that that level of violence would continue, or right here? So Patrice Lumumba reached out to us as he knew they were gonna kill him, and they were gonna kill his comrades. And in a letter to his wife, Pauline, I need to put on my glasses. In a letter to his wife, Pauline, he wrote this, I wouldn't call it a cry, a call, but what I will invite you to do is I'm gonna read it, but we're gonna go through it together. Maybe in some way we're affirming his presence, like we're affirming the presence of the other ancestors, that the Belgians, the US president give the permission to go ahead with this murder.
We're living in a time where everybody is.
That was Pastor Orlando. So read with me. My beloved companion, I write you these words, not knowing whether you will receive them, when you will receive them, and whether I will still be alive when you read them. Throughout my struggle for the independence of my country, I have never doubted for a single instant that the sacred cause to which my comrades and I have dedicated our entire lives would triumph in the end. But what we wanted for our country, its right to an honorable life, to perfect dignity, to independence with no restrictions, was never wanted by Belgian colonialism and its Western allies, who found direct and indirect, intentional and uni-intentional support among high officials of the United Nations. That body in which we have placed all our trust when we called on it for help. Mama Bibiana is smiling. You know, we had that conversation. They have corrupted our countrymen. They have brought others. They have done their part to distort the truth and defile our independence. What else can I say? That whether dead or alive, free or in prison, by the order of the colonialists, it is not my person that's important. What is important is that the Congo, our poor people, but my faith will remain unshakable. I know and feel in my very heart, heart of hearts, that sooner or later my people will rid themselves of all their enemies. Foreign and domestic. They will rise up as one and say no to the shame and degradation of colonialism and regain our dignity in the pure light of day. We are not alone. Africa, Asia, and the free and liberated peoples in every corner of the globe will ever remain at the side of millions of Congolese who will not abandon the struggle until there will be no more colonizers and no more mercenaries in our country. I want my children, whom I leave behind, and perhaps will never see again, to be told that the future of the Congo is beautiful and their country expects them